Bottom of the morning to y'all. Um, yeah, so this is a video about why people don't like clamshell saws. I picked up this here. This is a Husqvarna 450 Rancher at an estate sale for 75 bucks. Turns out the piston was fried in it. Not too bad though, and the cylinder cleaned up really nicely. There's the exhaust side down there. Just a little bit of aluminum transfer, no big deal. I got that off of there. But whenever I pulled the crankshaft out, I noticed other things. So, first off, it had gotten so hot that it melted this plastic oiler gear, worm gear setup. So that's a bad sign, right? The seal on this side was melted. Look at that. That's all melted plastic and rubber and stuff. And this right here is the bearing pocket. Now you can't really tell so much on camera. You can see it, but it clearly was spinning the bearing in here and heated up that plastic seat right there. And so I might be able to put it in and it be okay, but at the same time I might put it in and it still be crap. So there was big flakes of plastic like this where it had melted and spread up into the bearing and everything. And it's supposed to look like this one right here, you know. That's all burnt up and bad. So sadly, $75 for the saw. Another 45 bucks for a Chinese cylinder kit. You know, I bought the whole kit, piston and the little seals and everything that go with it, the crank seals and the gasket seals or whatever you want to call them. And I even purchased a new oiler. Now the worm gear. Now the oiler I'll be able to get on Amazon because that was only a few minutes ago, and I'll be able to cancel that order. That's no big deal. But I've got probably close to $150 in this, and the case is trash. So I'm just going to pick apart, like I'll take these little things off of here, these little clips, because those break and those are needed every now and then. But yeah, this is just going in the trash. This is trash. I'm not going to risk it any further. And not to mention be a pain in the ass to put it all back together. It sucks. That sucks. And that's why people really try and stay away from these clamshell saws, because when they do go bad, they go bad. They go bad. They get hot, you know, because they got that stupid catalytic muffler. The very nature of an X-Torque saw runs hot. And you add that in with a bunch of plastic, makes for a bad combination. So it sucks, but yeah, this is going in the trash. I'll keep the cylinder because, you know, it's a good cylinder. Maybe something will come down the line. I'll just put it on a shelf or whatever. But yeah, bum deal. Trash. I was really wanting to run this too. I've never actually ran a 450 Rancher, and I was wanting to run it, but not whenever it's like that. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. Sucks. For every time you have a good solid win, you have a good solid lose. I lost on this one bad. $150 into a saw that really, if it was running, I wouldn't pay $150 for, really. It'd be like that. That'd be the tops. So all of the effort that I put into it, just not worth anything. I was going to put it back together and use it as a giveaway saw, but now with what I've found there, I'd just be sending out a saw that's prone to failure. That's no good. All right, clamshell saws suck. Now, I was talking with Barry this morning about the 350, the Husqvarna 350. That's like a pseudo clamshell, and there's been a lot of those over the years. They do have a plastic case, but they have a riser coming up off of the off of the crank. So it's a riser so that you still have all metal parts on the bottom end, and you have a good cylinder that you can work with and replace and do some machine work and stuff like that on easily. But all this other stuff, man, that sucks. I'm bummed. But I mean, if this is the worst thing I have to complain about, life's still pretty good. But I was hoping to get it going and do a muffler mod to it. Maybe a tiny bit of little porting, just, you know, freestyle. Just give it a little bit more intake. Open up those lower transfers. The lower transfers right here, it looks like they would really benefit by notching this out right here, this area. Because that's where it flows in like this. So if you can open that up just a little bit, you'd have unimpeded flow, and I think it would help. But I mean, ultimately, I've seen Dino Joe's video about these things where he ported one of them and got very minuscule gains. And honestly, they're just not worth it. But I had it apart anyways, and I was, I'll go ahead and do something, knock off some corners kind of thing. But now, I'm just going to throw it in the trash. Okay, so it's lunchtime now, and I just ate me a hot dog. And I was thinking, what caused it? What caused this failure? Why was the PTO side so scorching hot that, ooh, here's my lunch. That, and again, that the plastic case was melted on the PTO side? Well, there's only one real answer to that, and that is the chain. My guess is they were running the chain so tight and so dull that it heated up the bar and the clutch, and all of that trickled down into the oiler gear, the crank seal, and the plastic case ultimately, because the bearing got so hot and the crankshaft got so hot. The scoring on the piston was not that bad, and the scoring on the cylinder was very minimal. So the heat did not come from there. The heat wasn't from an air leak or anything like that, or an exhaust that was too hot. The heat came from the bar and chain. And so you homeowners out there running your chainsaws, make sure that your chain is sharp and it's not overly tight. And it very well could have been that he ran out of oil, ran out of bar oil, the person that did this. Whatever it is, the heat came from there. And it not just ruined the piston and cylinder, it ruined the entire saw. So make sure your chain is sharp, not overly tightened, and you're getting good lubrication. Because if you're not getting those things, the heat builds up and it goes into your clutch, and it goes into your case, and it goes into your crankshaft, and it goes into your crank bearing, ruins your seals, and then the ruin of the seal is what ruined the piston, because you did have a little bit of an air leak right there at the end. But it was all caused by probably one of three or a combination of all. No oil, too tight of a chain, too dull of a chain, and just sitting there digging it in. Ruined an entire saw because it was, I don't want to say an idiot, but an inexperienced person was running it. And that's it. All right, later.